Good morning, guys. So audio should be fine now. Sorry to keep you waiting for some 20 seconds or so. Yeah, seems to be live now. Let's actually double check here. If you are on the watch, if you're watching this, just you can also let me know. I'm just gonna test the audio here. Okay, so it's not really clear to me if we are. There we go. Yes, we are. Good. So, guys, thanks so much for joining me this beautiful morning. Today is, as I said before, February 11th, 2020, and it's 9:46 a.m. in London when I'm doing this market update. My name is Alejandro Zambrano, and I'm the Global Chief Market Strategist with ATFX, and I'm based out of London. I also am the editor here of InvestorCube.com, a website I set up with a good team of analysts and developers and designers to be able to produce content for you to hopefully help you trade better. Now, you know the drill. We're going to take a look at things like the euro, GBP. We're going to look at crude oil prices. Let's actually just load the list. It's easier like that. Yeah, so we're going to look at Euro USD, GBP USD, dollar yen, gold, crude, DAX, and the S&P 500. And as well, if you have any questions, we can try to answer them. So we're going to begin with, let's begin with the fun stuff today. So we begin with stocks. So this is the S&P 500. So a few days ago, we're trading up here, said look to buy a dip at 33.17. And that worked out good, didn't it? We're pretty much at a new high. And the market is up with about 44.3 points since the market bounced. We can reduce the trend defining level a tiny bit and reduce that to 32.90. So when we're at this little spot here, it's possible to book a bit of profit unless you want to keep it for a few more days. We could be, leaving behind this range. Now we have seen it before. For example, here you had a strong decline and then up and then down, and then the market drifted away. Here's another little section like that, and here's another one down here. So it's very straightforward. I'm a trend follower. I go where the money goes. I don't try to fight the trend. I don't have the insight to fight trends. I am not a PhD. I am master students of economics. So I did study a few years, but I don't have a PhD, and I'm not sitting and crunching numbers every day. I don't have a team of people here next to me that are doing that. I'm not in a big investment bank where a lot of bright minds. I am pretty much having similar tools that many of you guys have. And what I do is I read the news, study the markets, try to understand what may happen, try to understand sentiment, and then I try to puzzle things together with the help of trends and technical analysis. And the trend is bullish. And we're going to continue to be bullish until proven otherwise. German DAX, they did try to trade upwards here. Now this is not, this is a bit of a, I wouldn't necessarily call it a rectangle, but you have 1, 2, 3 highs around the same level. If it's treated like a rectangle, then your target is 14,407. So we're trading sideways here, we're pushing to the upside. So we're also trying to form a low here, and it's quite nice to see that this price got rejected now this morning, because that helps me. I mean, we moved above this high, which is good, and I reckon that probably if we take out this high, then this level here around 13.41 is going to be the trend defining level, and the market could use that as a stop, and it might go up and then might go down, but it's all bullish. And is it gonna be super easy just to buy the breakout? Not necessarily. It could be a situation like here where we just moved up and then we move back down lower here, so you need to be a bit careful. Ideally what you do, you sit back and maybe enjoy this, which is in the money. Let's take a look at crude today. Crude is interesting because, as you know, we talked about it last week. So crude was within this big range, and there's definitely a bearish bias out there. We did trade below this level. We did not close strongly on the weekly, but things are narrowing down, and that's very constructive. If you look at it from a short-term perspective, the price is, let's take a look at the 1 hour, for example. You can see how the price is creating lower and lower highs in the very short term from February 6th. So if we take out 50.54, which is the buy spot I mentioned, I think last week already, then this would conclude this short-term uptrend. It'll probably go up to 51.70 or so. It'll probably go down again, and then probably go upwards. So this is interesting, and I continue to be bullish here, as I've been since last week. Gold prices. Gold prices going down a bit, you know, with stock markets at the highs, and people I think are not really that interested to hedge with gold. The coronavirus situation has calmed a bit. The growth rate has diminished. I do think, as I mentioned in this special webinar, that probably seen the worst for now. Even if you look at the growth rate of cases outside of China, is definitely growing, but it's not growing exponentially. I mean, it's growing. It is actually growing exponentially, but the idea is that it's not growing as fast, and that's really important. I think the growth rate was just about 10% outside, and luckily for now, most of the countries that have been affected are like big industrialized countries. You got Japan, you got UK, you got Australia, you got Singapore. They have money to protect their populations. There are other countries though that don't really have that. There are in the top 5 countries there, and that's a little bit of a problem, and that could really turn more difficult because their medical systems and healthcare systems are not really as well developed to pick up things like that. So it could become challenging, but the way this is looking right now does remind me a lot about what happened with the SARS virus in 2003. We did some analysis that we talk about it here, and it can definitely be worthwhile checking this out. You just need to be a member of investingq.com, and then you can watch it. And it's good because you can use that analysis, and what's really interesting is very similar to everything else we've seen. So it's quite interesting. If you look at the SARS low, when the markets were at the lowest, that was pretty much when things were at their worst. And it's usually like that in financial markets. That's the difficulty. When things were really bad a few months ago, or bad, when people were like really like, oh wow, we got the trade wars and everything, it's not really working out, the stock market was at its lowest. But then they pretty much moved up together. Right now, stock markets though are a little bit ahead of themselves, where the stock markets moved up much more than what the economy would warrant. At least that's what I think. And there's probably going to be a discrepancy there at one point. But for now, stock markets, as we just looked at, are bullish. Anyway, for gold, the trend remains bullish for now. The change here could be fully related to the fact that they're printing money in the US. There's a lot of dollars in the system. Interest rates have been cut as well last year, as you know. And then you got the pending coronavirus. You got the US-Iran crisis that lifted things to the upside. There's a lot of things that could, blow up. Last year, for example, on September last year, drones destroyed a large part, not a large part, but they put down Saudi crude oil production. So there's still a lot of uncertainty in the world, and I think that's what people are buying gold. Long story short, the trend is bullish above 1535, and as I said a few days ago, if people buy down here, I think that makes sense. For now, it's settling into a nice little rectangle, and then maybe at one point we could have a little break to the upside. This is actually right now, this is actually not a rectangle, it's a descending triangle, and you can take the base, you can take the midpoint, goes like that, and then we put it here. So that's your ascending triangle. It does suggest we can go up with another $50 on our break to 1593, like that. Let's take a look now at currencies. So this is your euro, and the market continues to be bearish. We did reach the target. So on January 17th, as I watch this level, we take this out, we're probably going to go down to 109.22. Worked out perfectly this time. And if you look at it from like a 6-hour chart, you can see how we're dealing with a left shoulder, right shoulder, and head. You have the break here. We took out that level. We now probably going to 107.37. All of this was outlined here on December 1st. Not the head and shoulders pattern, but the macro fundamental outlook. It's also something that Nicholas Papas, which is one of the authors here on the Investing Cube analyst, he talked about Eurodollar going down, and you can read more about it here in this one. And so far it's looking all right. Now if we look at this today, and the last major high is up here, and this is sort of the last resistance level, it can easily trade lower. I mean, we're very close to the 2019 low. It would not surprise me one bit if it tries to go there, trades below it, gets a few people stopped out, and then the market bounces. Why? Because the market is a bit stretched. You know, it has declined with no strong correction for 192.5 pips. So it probably needs to go up a bit and then lower. GBP versus the USD. So it's a bit bullish today. It's back up at the breakout point here. Now the GBP is very difficult to trade. It's always been very difficult to trade. But you have this rectangle, and we did take out support. I turned bearish on February 6th. And then when we had the NFP, we took out the low, and now we moved down, and now we're correcting up again. I think though we can lower trend funding level a tiny bit to something like 1030. Sorry, 130.13, this level here. And we're moving up here, and this is the opportunities to sell if you didn't sell the first time. Finally, dollar yen. Dollar yen is trying to go up a bit. It moved from the lows here because it's up and moving in this within this big channel. If this channel is going to hold, then this is not the time to buy. However, let's see if we can give it a few days. Maybe what will happen is that the market will, you know, it's going up now, right? Maybe it'll go down, spend some time here, and then we can have hopefully something like that, like this, or like this. And these are versus forwards. These are just sideways patterns where you can either have a bearish or a bullish reaction. And all these instances we had bearish reaction instead of bullish. So that is what I would look for. Okay, let's see if you guys have any questions. We have Maurizio Oliveri. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. And we have John Mitchell. I haven't seen you for a while. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat this morning. We have Asu as well. How about the Aussie dollar CAD? Marvin said good morning as well. Good morning to you. And we have Tato from South Africa and True Invention. So okay, so we get two questions, the Aussie dollar CAD and the Euro yen. So let's begin with the Aussie dollar CAD. And the Aussie dollar CAD is interesting. So this is your daily chart in the Aussie dollar CAD. And I think we looked at this one before. Well, I know I have looked at this one before. It's actually on my watch list for this week. First things first, weekly chart. Big rectangle pattern. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 lows at the same spot. This market traded lower on July 22nd. Get the break here, and the difference between high and low gives you a target of that the market could decline with 1,253 pip. Flip to your daily chart, and you have small rectangle here as well. Well, small and small. It's actually from summer of last year. So it's been around for quite some time. 1, 2 lows and 2 highs. This is definitely some sort of a range. And if we take out 88.37, and then this is something to watch. It's so interesting that one should put an alert like I'm doing right now. So if it slides below it, okay, did it wrongly. And you'll get a notification. And that's it. I think if we break, maybe we can short sell. I don't know where the sub will go right now, but maybe like 84 pip. And then if we reach the first target, we make 313. So it's a little bit more than 3 times your money. Let's take a look at our Euro yen. Okay, so this is Euro yen, and I did this analysis quite some time ago. This is interesting. It's actually quite interesting here. So you have this wedge-like pattern, and we took out support, then we went down, then we went up, but we're not able to go back into the pattern. Now this as you know, I don't really do this too often, so I don't really use these things too often. But yeah, the difference from here to here, that will be a target, which is the difference from here to here. So we have a target of 118.11. And then what's quite interesting is this. In the very short term, we had a little rectangle. The market took out the high and reached that target. So that went well since we looked at this last time. And now what's happened is that we actually taken out support. And this is no longer a rectangle, so we can't necessarily use this as a target. But if we look at this today, we still have that sideways price action, and we can lift this here. Effectively, what needs to happen, we need to go above this level. So I'm gonna name this level as a trend finding level. That level is 120.58, and then the market now did try to trade lower, and it's probably gonna go up maybe to 120 or something like that. But eventually, as long as you trade below 120.85, by the looks of it, we're gonna go down to 119.24, and then maybe go all the way down to the target 118.11. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So we're gonna wrap things up. So I want to thank you so much for watching. For any Arabic listener or anyone watching here, I'm gonna be on CNBC Arabia today at 2:15 London time. So that's 4 hours and 15 minutes from now. For anybody else that want to watch that, it's gonna be uploaded on the YouTube channel of let me see here, of ATFX. Let me see if I can show you that. So it's going to be uploaded here, down here. Won't necessarily be uploaded the same day, but it's going to be uploaded. It's actually going to upload it here, down here. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you do have any questions for me, then I hope to see you guys maybe on Twitter, on AlexFX00. This is my handle up here. I'll give it to you so you can follow me. And that's it, guys. Don't forget to check out, if you become a member just once of Investing Cube, you can read that, watch that webinar recording. You can read all the quarterly market outlooks. And you can also read the Investing Cube best trade ideas for 2020. Okay, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time. Thank you, and bye-bye.